A strange new interstellar visitor named 3I Atlas has just done something no natural object ever should. It maneuvered, it changed colour, and it did so near the sun, without a tail. This is not speculation. This is not theory. This is data. And if Dr. Avi Loeb, Harvard astrophysicist and founder of the Galileo project, is right, then NASA may already have classified imagery confirming what many fear. 3I Atlas isn't just another rock from space. It may be something else entirely. Let's break it down. This object is officially designated 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor in human history. It entered our solar system earlier this year, with its perihelion, or closest point to the sun, reached on October 29, 2025, and just days later something extraordinary happened. Between November 6 and 9, multiple observatories, including the Virtual Telescope project in Italy, NASA's infrared telescope facility in Hawaii, and private tracking stations in Arizona, reported something never before seen: a sudden brightening, a dramatic shift toward a bluer hue, brighter than the sun's own spectral peak. And then, a deviation, a measurable non-gravitational acceleration against its expected orbit. Very unusual, very strange. In fact, it's so strange that on November 7th, during an interview with Newsmax, Dr. Avi Loeb said the unthinkable. It maneuvered. His exact words. And he's not backing down, because according to Loeb and the Galileo project's Las Vegas Observatory, the motion cannot be explained by any known natural force. And here's the kicker. NASA may already know more and isn't saying. Because orbiting Mars right now is the Mars Reconnaissance orbiter, equipped with HiRISE, one of the most powerful imaging systems ever sent to space. And according to Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, multiple members of Congress have already been briefed. And yet, as of today, no HiRISE images have been released. So the question becomes, is this coincidence? Or are we witnessing a pattern? A cosmic message, a phenomenon that is not random, but calculated. Because if this object truly changed direction, if it truly has jets but no tail, and if it's bluer than the sun but colder than expected, then this may be the most anomalous object ever recorded. And as we dig deeper, you'll see why December 19th, 2025, when it passes closest to Earth, could change everything. If you're fascinated by interstellar mysteries, hidden data, or the growing tension between truth and transparency, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Because what you're about to see could blow your mind. Imagine standing in front of a live 3D rendering of our solar system. The virtual sky is mapped using SkyLive and Stellarium. In the inner system, just past the orbit of Mars, you see it, 3I Atlas. Its trajectory is Kitar low inclination, nearly along the plane of the planets. Its velocity, 150 kilometers per second, about 3 times faster than any Earth-made rocket. It's inbound, and it's weird. Discovered earlier this year by the Atlas survey system, it initially seemed cometary, fuzzy, unremarkable, headed toward the sun. But that illusion didn't last long. October 29th, perihelion. Most comets at this point form a tail. They begin ejecting gas and dust, forming visible comae. But 3I Atlas didn't. It remained tight, dense, compact. Instead of forming a tail, it developed 7 structured jets. Symmetrical. Even. And then it got bluer. Bluer than the sun. Now, that might not sound strange, until you realise how physically impossible that should be. The sun emits peak radiation around 50 to 800 Kelvin. Comets are colder, usually a few hundred Kelvin. So why was 3I Atlas suddenly radiating shorter wavelengths than our star? According to Dr. Gianluca Massi, director of the Virtual Telescope project, the colour shift from the object occurred within a 72-hour window, with no known chemical explanation. Its brightness increased by a factor of 5, but no outgassing was visible, no debris, no dust tail, nothing, except those jets. Spectral analysis from ESO's Very Large Telescope in Chile indicated a nickel-rich composition and unusually low iron content. This isn't your average comet. It doesn't fit any mould. Let's talk trajectory. Because even orbital mechanics don't lie. According to NASA's JPL Horizons database, 3I Atlas is currently travelling on an inbound hyperbolic path, with a perihelion distance of 203 million kilometres from the Sun. But here's what stunned researchers. After perihelion, its path began shifting. Simulations from the Las Vegas Galileo Project telescope showed a 0.09-degree lateral deflection, tiny but impossible to explain without thrust. And to achieve that deflection, 3I Atlas would have needed to expel roughly 5 billion tons of material, enough to alter its momentum. Problem: there's no evidence of that much mass loss. Spectral signatures don't show significant outgassing. Radar data from Goldstone confirms shape consistency. So what caused the movement? Here's where things get uncomfortable. Because only 3 explanations remain: internal propulsion, external interaction, unknown physics, all of which suggest something far beyond standard cometary behaviour. And this leads us to a curious philosophical tension. What do we call an object that doesn't act like a comet, isn't shaped like an asteroid, moves with intelligence, and emits light beyond expected spectra? On November 7th, in a now viral interview, Dr. Avi Loeb said it plainly. It's manoeuvred. No natural object can do this. Loeb is no outsider. He's the former chair of Harvard's astronomy department. He launched the Galileo project to scientifically investigate potential technological artifacts in space. And now, for the second time since Oumuamua, he's raising the alarm. What surprised many people is this: Congress is listening. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, a former military intelligence specialist, is now calling on NASA to release high-resolution images from the Mars Reconnaissance orbiter. The HiRISE instrument on board could have captured the object in stunning detail as it passed within range, but no such images have been released. Why? NASA claims processing delays. But skeptics point out, HiRISE has taken and published images of Martian dust devils in under 48 hours. So, why the silence on 3I Atlas? Some believe it's because the data shows something too disruptive. Mark your calendars. On December 19th, 2025, just 6 days before Christmas, 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth, about 57 million kilometres away. It will pass within range of the Arecibo replacement arrays in Puerto Rico, the Green Bank Observatory in West Virginia, ESA's optical ground station in Tenerife, the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, TSS, and James Webb, which may attempt an infrared capture. According to Loeb's calculations, this will be the best chance to determine: will it break apart? Will it eject smaller objects? Will it transmit anything? Even more provocative, March 16th, 2026, is the projected intercept window calculated by Loeb for a possible Juno spacecraft flyby if NASA redirects the probe. And if Loeb is right, if this is artificial, then intercepting it may become the most important scientific event in human history. We left off with 3I Atlas performing some impossible manoeuvres, but there's more. As we move closer to December 19th, 2025 and its closest approach to Earth, we need to dig deeper into what makes this object so controversial, so strange, so otherworldly. Dr. Avi Loeb isn't alone in his assertions. Many astronomers and physicists are questioning everything we thought we knew about cosmic bodies, and the more data we get, the more we realise this is not normal. Let's take a moment to focus on one of the most confounding aspects of 3I Atlas: its acceleration. By now, scientists have established that 3I Atlas is not simply drifting along its hyperbolic orbit. It's accelerating in ways no known object in space should be able to. Normally, comets and asteroids are subject to gravity. Their speeds are determined by the sun's pull, and their motion is predictable. For example, after perihelion, a comet would typically start to slow down as it moves away from the sun. But 3I Atlas isn't following the laws of gravity. November 6, 2025 was the breaking point. That's when scientists noticed the acceleration. It wasn't a minor shift. No. 3I Atlas sped up by a non-gravitational force, a maneuver that cannot be explained by normal cometary behaviour or any known natural phenomenon. The speed increase was measured at 150 km/h, about 3 times, faster than the fastest rocket Earth has ever sent into space. This acceleration is impossible. So, what's causing it? The traditional explanation for acceleration in comets is solar radiation pressure. when sunlight heats up the comet's surface, causing it to eject material and push away from the sun, like a mini jet engine. But here's the issue. In the case of 3I Atlas, the lack of a visible tail or outgassing means this natural explanation doesn't work. If the object is not expelling gas, then what's pushing it? Scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, have suggested a possible explanation involving internal propulsion mechanisms. But what kind of propulsion could cause jets to emit from an object with no visible tail? As Loeb pointed out in his Newsmax interview on November 7th, the data seems to suggest something far more unnatural, a technology capable of accelerating an object through space without the expected outgassing or mass loss would likely require advanced propulsion technology, far beyond anything we currently understand. And the real kicker, it would require technology that human civilization has never created. Around the world, astronomers and astrophysicists are watching closely. The Virtual Telescope project in Italy, headed by Dr. Gianluca Marsi, has been capturing real-time images of 3I Atlas for the public. The telescope's optical instruments have allowed viewers to track its movement across the sky, and with every passing week, something even more bizarre is becoming evident. Despite its increased brightness and blue shift, 3I Atlas has been maintaining a remarkably consistent shape. Why does this matter? Because typical comets form a fuzzy, coma-like atmosphere around their nucleus, a cloud of gas and dust. And when they come close to the sun, this gas evaporates, forming the visible tail. But 3I Atlas doesn't follow this pattern. It's too compact. It doesn't have the gas cloud you'd expect. In fact, it's lacking almost everything that should indicate it's a natural object. Instead, its structure remains solid, almost like a metallic object. And its 7 jets, and which appear almost too precise, are an anomaly in themselves. According to the Galileo project, these jets are highly structured, symmetric, and unlike anything seen on natural bodies like comets or asteroids. So what are we dealing with here? The more we learn about 3I Atlas, the more it looks like it doesn't belong to the same category as ordinary celestial bodies. Could it be a technological artifact? An object that has been deliberately engineered to perform these incredible feats? In fact, some scientists are now proposing that 3I Atlas could be an interstellar probe, a Voyager sent from somewhere far beyond our solar system. It may even be scanning Earth or conducting experiments on our planet, making observations, and using advanced propulsion systems to travel through the cosmos at an 88 unnatural velocity. While this may sound like science fiction, it's worth considering. Dr. Avi Loeb, in his book Extraterrestrial, proposed a daring theory about the potential for alien probes. In his words, if an alien civilization exists, they may be sending out interstellar probes to explore the galaxy. And 3I Atlas, with its unusual jets, advanced movement, and impossible behaviour, could very well be one of these probes. Loeb's theory suggests that advanced civilizations could be using tiny, efficient spacecraft to explore distant star systems. And 3I Atlas could be one such probe, possibly sent from another star system. Interestingly, 3I Atlas is on a trajectory that places it near the origin of the famous WOW signal, detected by the Arecibo Observatory in 1977. Could this be a deliberate follow-up to that signal? If 3I Atlas is an alien artifact, this could be a signal from another civilization, intended to find us, or observe us, from afar. As this mystery deepens, a larger question is emerging. Why is NASA so quiet about this object? Since October 29th, when 3I Atlas reached its perihelion, NASA's JPL and the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter have been tracking the object with high-resolution instruments. Yet, as of today, no images have been released, and the more time passes, the more skeptics are starting to demand answers. On November 12th, Representative Anna Paulina Luna took matters into her own hands and publicly called for NASA to release the high-res images captured by HiRISE. Her statement, "The public has the right to know what this object is. It's no longer just a scientific curiosity. It's a potential national security issue." The question on everyone's mind now is, what's being hidden? If 3I Atlas really is an alien artifact, then the implications are staggering. And the last thing we need is to be kept in the dark. All eyes are now on December 19th, 2025. This is the date when 3I Atlas will be closest to Earth. At that time, new data will be released, and we may finally get the answers we've been looking for. Will it break apart? Will it release more jets or eject smaller objects? Or will it remain tight and compact, sending us a final cosmic message? The truth is, we don't know yet. But the countdown has already begun. And as we draw closer to that date, one thing is certain. The mystery of 3I Atlas is far from over. We've covered the mystery of 3I Atlas's unexpected acceleration, its strange composition, and its possible connection to alien technology, but there's still so much more to unravel. As December 19th, 2025 approaches, the date of 3I Atlas's closest approach to Earth, we now face the great unknown. Will we get the answers we're all waiting for? This interstellar object has already defied every expectation. It's done the impossible. But what if the strangest part of this mystery hasn't even happened yet? At first glance, 3I Atlas might look like a typical comet, a glowing ball of ice, gas, and dust. But as we've discovered, looks can be deceiving. A typical comet, when it passes near the sun, begins to sublimate, meaning it heats up and releases gas and dust. This material forms the classic tail we see in cometary images. But with 3I Atlas, there's a major problem. It has no tail. Astronomers have been scratching their heads over this. How can an object that's so close to the sun, a place where the heat should be causing it to sublimate, remain compact and tailless? What's even stranger, instead of a tail, 3I Atlas has 7 visible jets. These jets are structured, symmetric, and unlike anything seen before in a comet. They appear to be emanating from the centre of the object in a highly organised fashion. This suggests an internal source of energy rather than the external forces that drive typical cometary tails. According to Dr. Loeb and his colleagues at the Galileo project, the symmetry of these jets points to intentional design, something that would be impossible to achieve naturally. Could this be a probe or an artifact of alien origin? It seems more likely as we keep investigating. But there's more. We know that comets, like most celestial objects, typically appear redder in the infrared spectrum. This is due to the gases they emit, like carbon dioxide or water vapour. But 3I Atlas has defied this rule. It's bluer than the sun itself. The blue shift observed from multiple observatories, including NASA's Infrared Telescope facility in Hawaii, doesn't match any known cometary behaviour. Astronomers from Harvard University are calling this the most extraordinary colour shift ever observed. If this object is a comet, it should be releasing gases like CO2 or water vapour, which would cause it to appear redder in the infrared. Instead, the shift to a blue spectrum indicates that it's radiating at shorter wavelengths that would typically be emitted by a much hotter object, much like stars. But the temperature of 3I Atlas is cooler than the sun. And yet, it radiates more intensely in the blue spectrum. This could indicate artificial heating, something that's artificially regulated within the object. How can a colder object emit light at higher frequencies than a hotter one? It simply shouldn't be possible, unless the object is using artificial means to alter its radiation profile. Now, we get to the key anomaly that's been frustrating scientists for months: the acceleration. As we've already discussed, the object's speed has increased significantly as it moved away from perihelion. This isn't supposed to happen. Comets slow down as they move away from the sun. But 3I Atlas is doing the opposite. It's accelerating, and not due to the usual solar pressure that drives most comets. So how do we explain this? Some researchers argue that the acceleration could be linked to a gas expulsion mechanism. But, again, there's no tail to suggest any significant outgassing. Another possibility: the object could be using internal propulsion, jets that don't require the release of mass in the traditional sense, but instead generate thrust via some kind of exotic physics. This is a scenario that would push us into territory beyond current human understanding. Are we witnessing the first evidence of alien technology? We mentioned earlier that 3I Atlas lies within 9 degrees of the origin of the WOW signal, that mysterious radio signal detected by SETI in 1977, which has remained unexplained ever since. Is there a connection between the two? Could it be that the WOW signal was an early warning, a signal from an advanced civilization followed by a physical probe, 3I Atlas Kamehameha, sent to observe us from the far reaches of space? Dr. Loeb seems to think so. In his groundbreaking work, he suggests that such probes might be scattered throughout the galaxy, hidden in plain sight, and sent out to monitor our solar system. And 3i Atlas, with its unusual behavior and advanced propulsion, could be the first evidence we have of one of these alien probes. If 3i Atlas is indeed a probe, or some form of technological artifact, then the implications are enormous. It means that there may be intelligent life out there, not only observing our planet, but actively seeking us out. This could change everything about how we view ourselves in the cosmos. And if 3i Atlas is simply one of many such probes, if others have passed through the solar system before us, then it raises an even more unnerving question. Have we been watched for a long time? It's at this point that we need to confront the most pressing question. Why has NASA been so quiet about 3i Atlas? In this era of instant data sharing and high-resolution imagery, it's inconceivable that the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the most advanced imaging satellite in orbit, has not yet released any close-up pictures of this object. The HiRISE instrument has the ability to capture the smallest details on distant planets and objects. So why the silence? Some believe NASA's reluctance to share data could be due to the unsettling possibility that 3i Atlas is not just another interstellar object, but something far more extraordinary. Perhaps alien technology. As Repa's Anna Paulina Luna continues to push for transparency in Congress, NASA faces growing pressure to release the data. Shouldn't the public know what's really happening in space? The questions have only grown louder. Why hasn't NASA shared the images? What is it about 3i Atlas that they don't want us to see? We've uncovered the extraordinary anomalies surrounding 3i Atlas. Its unexpected acceleration, its anomalous jets, its unexplained blue colour, and the growing suspicions of alien technology. But as we approach its closest encounter with Earth on December 19, 2025, the most profound questions remain unanswered. What will we discover when 3i Atlas is at its closest point? Will it break apart? Will we see the release of more jets, or will it simply continue on its path? A cosmic mystery we can never fully solve. The answer might lie in what happens next. We are now only a few weeks away from December 19, 2025, the closest approach of 3i Atlas to Earth. On this day, the object will pass just 57 million kilometers from us, and hundreds of telescopes and observatories will be ready to observe it. In particular, the Arecibo Replacement Array in Puerto Rico and Green Bank Observatory in West Virginia will be among the key sites tracking this object, using high-powered radar and optical telescopes to get detailed imagery. And for the first time, we might finally get answers to the questions that have baffled scientists for months. Will 3i Atlas fragment into smaller pieces? Will it continue to emit jets? Or could we see new, unexpected phenomena? Could this be the moment when we witness a technological breakthrough, or even a first contact event? The possibilities are endless. Here's what we might expect. Fragmentation. If 3i Atlas is an interstellar asteroid, we could see it break apart as it gets closer to Earth. Gravitational stress from the Sun and from our planet could cause the object to fragment, releasing smaller pieces that could provide more clues about its nature. New jets. If the object is truly a comet, we may see the release of new jets as it passes closer to the Sun. We might finally get the evidence of outgassing that could explain its acceleration. Or we might see unexpected changes in its structure, including new active regions or jets that appear spontaneously. Artificial probe activation. Perhaps the most shocking possibility. If 3i Atlas is an alien probe, it could activate upon reaching its closest approach to Earth. This could result in communications, or the object might release small satellite probes to gather data or even send signals. Could this be the moment that humanity first communicates with another intelligent species? As we near the closest approach, a lot of speculation is swirling around the scientific community. Some believe we are witnessing the first real evidence of alien technology. If that's the case, the implications are nothing short of transformational for humanity. But that brings us to a difficult question. How do we prepare for the impossible? Let's dive into some of the most speculative theories about what could be happening with 3i Atlas. One theory that's gained some traction in recent weeks is the idea that 3i Atlas could be a messenger from a dying star, an ancient object sent out to explore the galaxy after the death of a distant star. Perhaps the object is part of an ancient probe network sent out by an advanced civilization to study the remains of long-dead stars and their planetary systems. This could mean that 3i Atlas has been travelling for millions of years, perhaps even far beyond our own galaxy, before finding its way into our solar system. This is an incredibly daring theory, but it suggests that interstellar probes may be more common than we think. If these probes are programmed to gather data from stars nearing the end of their life cycle, it would explain why 3i Atlas is so advanced and highly engineered. Another more chilling theory proposes that 3i Atlas could be a precursor to a larger invasion, an advanced scout sent to test the waters for potential interactions with Earth. The precision of its movements and lack of natural explanations for its behaviour have led some to believe that it could be laying the groundwork for something far more significant. Perhaps 3i Atlas was sent to measure human reaction to extraterrestrial phenomena. Its anomalous behaviour may be a test, and the object may be gathering data to send back to its creators. Could this be the beginning of a first contact scenario? Could this object be the tip of the iceberg, with far more complex and intelligent technology waiting to be discovered? No matter what 3i Atlas turns out to be, one thing is certain. This event is already reshaping our understanding of the universe. If this object is truly artificial, it will mark the beginning of a new era for human civilization, one in which we are no longer alone in the cosmos. Scientists now face a profound dilemma. The discovery of alien technology could change everything: our understanding of physics, our place in the universe, and even the nature of life itself. Imagine what we could learn from the technology behind 3i Atlas, how it operates, how it maneuvers, and what it can teach us about advanced civilizations. 3i Atlas is the first direct clue that intelligent life beyond Earth may exist, and it's sitting in our solar system. The mystery of 3i Atlas has already drawn public interest. But as December 19th approaches, there is increasing pressure on governments and space agencies to be transparent about what they know. Why hasn't NASA released the high-resolution images from the Mars Reconnaissance orbiter? Why is there so much silence surrounding this object? Reppers Anna Paulina Luna isn't the only one pushing for answers. There is growing political and public pressure on agencies like NASA, the European Space Agency, ESA, and even Harvard University to release all data related to 3i Atlas. If 3i Atlas is indeed an alien probe or technological artifact, then it's not just a matter of scientific curiosity. It could be a national security issue, and one that requires immediate transparency. As we approach the final days before 3i Atlas's closest approach, the world waits. On December 19, 2025, we will have the chance to answer the questions that have haunted humanity for centuries. Is 3i Atlas just a comet, or is it an alien artifact sent to observe us? The truth is out there, and we are about to uncover it. Will we be able to prove that we are not alone in the universe? Make sure you don't miss the next video where we'll break down the latest updates on 3i Atlas, including the high-resolution data expected to be released on December 19th. If you want to follow this story as it continues to unfold, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel. I'll be releasing follow-up videos as new data comes in, especially after December 19th, when we'll finally see what happens to 3i Atlas at its closest approach to Earth. Leave a comment below and let me know. What do you think we'll discover? Is it a natural comet, an alien artifact, or something else entirely? I read all your comments and would love to know what you think.